Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to set the world record of how many people we can fit into the deadline room here. And I told you all it would be worth it to have Jeff Gordon come in here tonight. And on behalf of NASCAR, I just want to thank him again for all he's done for our sport. It'll be the final time for him this weekend at Kentucky Speedway. And Jeff, I just feel remiss without telling you thank you for all you've done for us and that type of thing. And I know Kentucky Speedway, Marcus Smith is walking in as well, the CEO of SMI. Thank you, Marcus, for being here tonight. But we're going to turn it over right now to Mark Simmendinger, who is the general manager of Kentucky Speedway, for a very, very special presentation. And following that presentation, I'll come back up here, and Jeff will be available for a few minutes for a Q&A in advance of tomorrow night's 5th Annual Quaker State 400 presented by Advance Auto Parts. Take it away, Mark.
Thanks, Kerry. Jeff, before we give you a token of our appreciation as well, I want to introduce some of the VIPs that we have in here that have also helped make this possible. We've got 4 master distillers. These are the most accomplished distillers of bourbon that the Commonwealth has to offer, and as you know, we are the world's headquarters for the best bourbon right here in Kentucky, and we're very proud of that. When I say your name, if you could just raise your hand, I'd be acknowledged. Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey, Jim Rutledge from Four Roses, Fred No Sr. from Jim Beam, and Willie Pratt from Michter's. And also Eric Gregory, the president of the Kentucky Distillers Association, is with us. They are the ones that really made this possible for us. We've got the CEO of Speedway Motorsports, Marcus Smith. Marcus, if you could come on over here and help me, along with Don Hawk, Executive Vice President, Speedway Motorsports. So trust us, Jeff, this is going to be good. So if you guys would, Marcus, kind of pull it up from the back, so make sure that you clear the back. And go ahead and do the unveiling. And there you go. Jeff, what we've got for you is we've got 24 bottles.
I'm just saying, that's a lot of bourbon.
We've got 24 bottles of the very best that each of these great distilleries has to offer from Kentucky. And the reason that we asked them to do this with us, and we're so appreciative that they did it, is you made it clear from your people that you didn't really want a lot of presents for yourself. And so what we thought this would be a great thing to do is this allows you to use these, and you can use those as thank yous for the people that got you to where you are. I know there's been so many over your career. And also, whatever else, charity, or if you're having a big night, whatever you want to do with it. And if
I might go through half of it, we win this race tomorrow.
I'll go through the other half with you, trust me. But if worse comes to worse, you'll always have 96 friends you can fall back on. So there you go. We hope you enjoy that. Each one of those is inscribed with a personal signature from the master distillers, which is a huge deal in our state. These are the rock stars of Kentucky right over here. So congratulations to you, and thanks a lot.
Well, thank you very, very much. Marcus is my neighbor, and he knows me a little too well, and he has too many friends that are also neighbors that know me too well. So he has a pretty good idea of the things I like to collect. And let's just say this fits right in my wheelhouse. I don't drink a lot of the things that I collect, so I'm going to take some of these and make them collectibles, and some of them, yeah, great idea, give away as gifts, and some of them I'm going to drink. So thank you very much. We're honored to be here, and to have you guys do what you do and come join us. And this is a great gift, and I appreciate it very, very much, and the recognition. And Marcus, you never cease to let me down. As little as I want to be recognized with these types of things, Marcus, every time we come to hit one of his tracks, he does something great. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Marcus.
guys.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff. Okay. This might be the largest crowd we've had at one of these, Jeff. I know I've been to most of them this year so far, and certainly a lot of interest here at Kentucky Speedway with you coming to this racetrack. And I know I've heard you several times over the course of this season. You know, you want to win at them all, and this is one that you would like to win at. Just talk about how your car is so far, how the practices have gone. Certainly, you know, we've been battled and challenged with some weather, but we got out on the track today. Just talk about how that number 24 Chevrolet is operating for you.
Thank you, Kerry. Yeah, it's good to get out there and get some laps. I think we all recognize how important it was to do that before the race tomorrow because of this new package and the things that we're trying and the unknowns. You know, this is a tricky racetrack. Certainly, that's no secret. It's a very challenging racetrack. You take 1,000 pounds of downforce off the cars, as well as the reduction in horsepower that we've had all year, but have not run here yet. We need track time, and so I was glad we were able to get on there today. We would like to have had it with the data acquisition on the cars like we planned on having on Wednesday, but we'll take whatever we can get. And the 24 was pretty good. We made a mock qualifying run in that first practice, knowing there was a good chance it could get rained out for qualifying, and that paid off. We'll be starting third, so great place to start. Glad we were able to get the next practice in, and you know, to me, the car drives kind of like what you would expect. It doesn't have as much grip. You can't be quite as aggressive with it, but you know, the balance is pretty good, front to rear. I think we're fighting a little bit of the front downforce more than the rear downforce, but I think we're going to battle with a little bit of both. And haven't been in a lot of traffic yet, but a little bit, and just seemed like whatever we had going on with the car just accentuated that. So, you know, it's still early on to be able to really give a clear evaluation, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty good day certainly for us so far.
Good deal. We'll take a few questions for Jeff. Raise your hand. Got a lot of folks in here. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We'll start here with the Associated Press, Gary Graves. Raise your hand. Let's get him a wireless mic. And then we'll go over to Jessica. And then Lee, did you have a question? Okay. Go Gary, Jessica, and then Claire.
Jeff, have you really thought much about your record here? I mean, about not winning. Is it one of those, like, must-win races that you thought about over the years, or you just figured it would just happen if it was meant to be?
Yeah, I mean, no different than any other track. The difference is that it's the only one left on the list, and so it would mean a lot to accomplish that, and that would be something that I think, that's something hard to do, and I love doing things that are hard to do, and set those kinds of stats, and It wouldn't mean so much to me if I hadn't won on all the other ones. So it's all been good. We've come close here once before, I believe. It's the newest track that's been added on the schedule, so we haven't been able to come here for a long time. But it would just mean a lot to win it. It's not, if we don't, that I'm going to be super disappointed. I'll be disappointed if we finish second. To come that close, yeah, that'd be a little disappointing as far as the stats go. But I'd like to have a good, strong finish here and just have a shot at it. And it'd be pretty cool if we pulled it off.
Let's go to Jessica right here, right there. And then we'll go to Claire and then to Jeff.
Jessica Ruffin, NASCAR.com. All of your finishes here have been inside the top 10, so you've had some strong runs, but you've yet to lead a lap here. What is it about this track that's difficult for you to just get up to the very front and lead?
Yeah, that's a good question. Not really sure. I mean, I remember a couple years ago, we raced here during the day, and that was our best shot that we had at winning, and we had a restart where we started like third or fourth or second or something like that, and had some crazy stuff happening where some cars spun out, and we just never, I felt like in that scenario, got the opportunity to get ourselves in that number one position, and that was for the win. But in the other ones, this is just a tough racetrack. I'm not really sure. I feel like we've always ran well towards the end of the race, but maybe didn't always start off as strong. And maybe it's a qualifying thing too. We just haven't qualified up front. So hopefully that changes this weekend.
Let's go to Claire, and then we'll come over here to Jeff, and then to Mark. Go ahead.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. After the short first practice, a bunch of people in the garage were saying, wow, if we'd have come out and raced like that, everybody was real loose and whatnot across the board. And then you went back and had the longer practice. How much do you now know that you think we'll see in the race, and how much you think we won't really find out until you actually are racing each other?
I think there's a part of me that thought it would have been really cool had we not had any practice and just went and cold turkey and did it and see what it was like. There's no doubt it's less grip. There's less grip, and when there's less grip, you're going a little bit slower through the corners, which is kind of the theory behind this package. Is we believe that you need to slow the cars down a little bit through the corners so that we're not so dependent on the aerodynamics that when you're behind somebody, you're losing that so much needed air, and that hopefully that will create the ability to pass a little bit more. But if you think you're going to go out there and run side by side, that's a whole other story. You're going to go dive inside somebody, and you're probably going to get loose and slide into them. So there might be a little more contact, a few more cautions. I like what we're doing, how we're trying this package out. And we're going to, I guess, try it at Darlington too, and then we'll go try the exact opposite package and see what that's like at Indy or Michigan, or if that all comes together. So I'm trying to hold my opinions to myself until I really go through a race and really know what we have.
Let's go right over here to Jeff, and then we'll go to right here on the front to Mark.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. Brad yesterday was talking about how this is the last mile-and-a-half race until the chase, whereas before you guys would have Atlanta, and that's not the case anymore. Even though it's a different package than what you'll probably be racing in the chase, how important is this when it comes to looking at what you'll have for that playoff?
Yeah, I mean, this is like I mentioned, a unique and very challenging racetrack as a mile and a half compared to others. So I think that there's some things you have to do different here to get over the bumps and deal with the surface versus some of the other tracks. So it's not really apples to apples of what we're going to have a mile and a half, and especially the package. But I do think, I still think, even if you take the downforce off the cars, the person that does the best job getting the most out of it, the most downforce, and the most grip out of the car is probably going to be one of the cars to beat here. And I would think that they'll be one of the cars and teams to beat in the chase at the next mile and a half. So I think teams are looking at this and saying, okay, we've lost this and we've lost this, but we still have everything else that we have at other tracks. Let's let's see what we can do with it, and if we can learn something and improve on our cars, then we head down that path and direction for those final 10 races in the year when we get back to the mile and a halves. And it'll still pay off there, even though this is a lot different.
Over here, Jeff, far right, Mark Story.
Mark Story, Lexington Herald Leader. Jeff, you've talked a lot about this race and what it would mean to you if you could complete, the full cycle. Are there things your team has been able to do to, make sure you have a good car here and, have a chance to pull this off?
No different than they do every other weekend. I mean, I've been so fortunate to be a part of a team throughout my whole career that goes to every track with a car that's capable of winning, and if not, with putting as much effort out as possible to prepare for each race. And it's one of the reasons why I've been able to win at so many racetracks. So, I mean, I do feel like Alan and our team of engineers have recognized that we have not maybe brought, as good a race cars on a consistent basis this year as we did last year, and they've been working really, really hard. And I think today we saw some of that that hard work paying off. I mean, the car has good speed, so I mean, there's no reason why we can't do it this weekend.
Let's go here to Stan, and then we'll come back to Gary. Stan has a question, and then Gary.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Jeff, almost all of your first-time wins at all these tracks, you've been keyed with Ray Evernham. Did Ray Evernham step up at all prior to this race and talk to you about what it might take for you, to take the checkered here?
No. I mean, I talk to Ray all the time, but we didn't talk about that. We don't get real sentimental when it comes, and philosophical and stuff like that. We just see how one another's doing, what kind of cool cars we're messing around with, and stuff like that.
Back to you, Gary. Go ahead.
Yeah. Along that line, even though you don't have the history here, the circuit doesn't have the history here, in this final year, do you find yourself becoming a little more sentimental with some of these tracks? I mean, in this one in particular, really trying to appreciate some of the quirks and appreciate the success you've had here?
Yeah, I think it has to do a lot of it with my history and my memories that I have at that track. I think Sonoma was really kind of one of the first ones this year that was a final race that really was a track that I not only had great success on the track, but just has a lot of connections that mean a lot to me. And when I heard the crowd applaud on race day for driver introductions, it really hit me and stuck with me, and it was cool. I kind of anticipate that at Indianapolis as well. I mean, the cheers and the support have been overwhelming everywhere we've gone. But when you talk about the significant tracks in my career, Sonoma, Indy certainly come to mind. And other than that, the only thing that the only place that I really think it's going to hit me, wow, this is really happening, is in Homestead. When I think of this track, I just think of how challenging it is, how rough it is, how much my back hurts, and how I'd like to win here because we never have. I love the fact when we came here, especially the first time, the way that racing is supported in this part of the country. Remind me of Indiana. I used to race in Evansville, not too far from here, race sprint cars there. And it just didn't surprise me how when we come here, there's a lot of huge race fans, not just NASCAR fans, but just huge race fans that want to see a great race and came out to support us here.
Let's go to John right here, and then we'll go to Lee. Go ahead, John.
I'm John Oriovitz of ESPN.com. Jeff, your parade, Jeff Gordon Day.
Where are you?
I'm over here.
Oh, sorry.
Your parade got rained out yesterday and pushed back a couple weeks, but
Rained on my parade.
or rained on the speedway that you had to be at instead of your parade. But Anyway, what's it going to mean to you to go back to Pittsboro, Indiana, and recall that phase of your life?
Yeah, I was really bummed. I had a lot of friends that were texting me and people that I hadn't seen in a long time that I was looking forward to seeing. And it sounded like Indianapolis Motor Speedway really had put a lot of planning into that. So I was pretty disappointed not to go there and then not ever get on the track yesterday here. So, but I did hear that the weather was pretty bad up there as well. So we're all hoping that July 23rd, that date works well for everybody. And I look forward to going there. It's been a while since I've been out in Pittsboro. Been a while since I've seen a lot of those folks, and that town meant so much to me. When I was in my early years of racing, just because I got the chance to race so many places and had so much support there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that whole Brickyard week or weekend. It's going to be a great one.
Final question right there, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. When you guys were in the drivers' council meeting the other day, I think a couple of people came out of there thinking that there would not be any changes to the chase as far as implementing the packages you're trying, low downforce, high downforce, whatever. And Steve O'Donnell, when he met with the media on Tuesday, seemed to indicate that anything's on the table at this point. Do you have a feeling either way, or do you just think whatever they decide is best for the sport will put the best product on the racetrack?
Yeah, that's what I think. If there's something that we leave there and everybody just says, wow, that was spectacular, that was amazing, we need more of that, then I'd certainly be open to it. But, if we're mixed feelings and opinions on it and they implement that, I think I'd be a little disappointed in that. I mean, I don't think that, any of us really felt like the things that we're doing right now are necessarily to put into the chase, but if they are, because it's going to make the sport even better than it is, then great, I'll support it.
Jeff Gordon, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And certainly good luck tomorrow night. Thank you.